I'm editing this video on a foggy morning. It's almost complete. And I just want to thank myself for allowing this space for me to be imperfect, allowing space for me to be inarticulate. I really challenged myself with this video to edit very minimally, to allow myself to speak very freely without a script, without an outline. I allowed my thoughts to free flow. I allowed myself to show up authentically. I suffer from brain fog that often clouds my thoughts and makes it difficult to communicate my ideas clearly. I often feel like people won't have the patience to hear me out, to find the value in my ramblings. Maybe there is a time and place to be scripted. There needs to also be space for stream of consciousness, and that's what this is. I will be very upfront and say this video may require some patience to get from beginning to end. But if you do make it to the end, I hope there was something along the way that was of value to you, that helps you on your artist journey. This isn't about painting or sewing or even making things as much as it is about the spirit of what it means to be an artist and what it means to move through this world with an artist's heart, with a soul that feels everything so deeply. If you can connect and relate to that, I hope this video will mean at least a fraction to you what it has meant to me. Thank you. It doesn't serve a fast-paced economy. If you're a perfectionist, you're only putting out something once every 6 years. And maybe all the feelings that I felt were somewhere ingrained in the likes and the ums and the pauses and the thought and what you could see in my eyes that I was trying to communicate, what I was feeling. And I just lost all of that because I was worried about engaging people. Wash day is always something that I really don't look forward to, and then I'm doing it and I just try to make the best of it. And I usually watch some YouTube that I need to catch up on, or a show that I need to catch up on. But I had the sudden desire to talk to the camera, so I decided I should follow that urge. I think I'm being very experimental in this phase of content creation, whether it's for YouTube or Instagram, but I just realized I don't want to put in the level of effort that my brother's watering our lawn, so the water just turned off, thankfully, or he just turned the water off. I don't know if it might start back up again. I just don't want to have to put in the level of thought and effort that I was previously putting in. And it's not because I don't believe there's merit to that, or that you shouldn't put thought and planning into content, but I realize I'm trying to apply my film school training to a fast content market, and it just is really clashing. And it's for me to put that much effort into something, I would want it to support me in some way financially or help me to make a living. And it's not that all of my work has to be that way, or as though I wouldn't do it anyway. But to be honest, it's there's so many things I have to do in this life that require so much energy from me that I just don't have a choice about. I have to do something to make money so that I can eat in the society that we live in. My basic needs are not met if I don't have money to buy those things. Obviously there are exceptions to this, and I have a support system and people who wouldn't let me starve. But at the same time, it's because someone is required to do it, it's either you're doing it or someone else is doing it on your behalf. And the type of person I am, it's I want to pull my own weight, so to speak. And so that requires me to make money. And it's if my energy is limited because it's in this world, I am forced to sell my labor, then it's if I'm going to contribute that much time and energy to something, it's I'd want it to kill two birds with one stone, you know? And I feel that's my frustration with social media and content creation, is that like sometimes you can put so much effort into something and it just doesn't pop off. Like it doesn't get picked up by the algorithm, or people don't connect with it in the way that you thought they would. And so it's like you put in all that effort for nothing. I don't think it's actually for nothing. I think like everything that you create helps to evolve you as an artist, but at the same time, like I don't know. Like I just don't want to feel, I don't want to have to go through the ups and downs of feeling like my work is futile. And so it's like, if I'm going to contribute to this like content market, I don't know what you would call it, I would want it to feel effortless, and I would want it to be something I can still appreciate and be proud of and happy with. But at the end of the day, like if it doesn't pop off, I didn't spend, 500 hours making it, But yeah, I just want something simple and easy, and I don't want to feel like that's wrong. And I think I condition myself to believe that it is, and that everything I do, it has to be 110%. I'm like that in everything, every job I've worked at, even if it's just like a job, like just, a retail job, or, something like that. Like I still feel like I have to put in 110%. Like I can't be bad at it. I can't be mediocre. If for whatever reason at any point I am or feel that I'm mediocre, I struggle with that. And I think as an artist, I don't know if that's like particular to artistic types, or like obviously other people can be perfectionists as well, even if you're not like artistic in like the traditional sense. But I think there are some artists who are very not perfectionists, and like they are very free flowing and don't necessarily like hold themselves to an impossible standard. Like that's definitely true. And so I'm like, maybe I should explore being a little bit more like that. I think it's about time and place. It's about balance. It's about time and place. I've talked about this before on my channel. I have a whole video about it, but I believe there is a place for perfectionism. Like that's, I don't know why our society is so anti-perfectionism. Like, no, it doesn't serve this current culture. Like it doesn't serve a fast-paced economy. Like if you're a perfectionist and you're not productive and you're only putting out something once every 6 years, that doesn't serve like our economy, right? It doesn't serve like our current like capitalist structure. So of course they're going to say, don't be a perfectionist. You just have to do it. You just have to, but it's like, you really don't. Like there's beauty in perfectionism, in someone like perfecting something over the course of years, mastering a craft. Like there's a beauty to that. Like there's value that comes from that. I just don't know that like I should constantly be at war at the world I live in. Like there's like an element of choosing your battles, basically. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to choose your battles, and sometimes like you have to do what works and not beat yourself up for like the world around you. Like no, like it might not be ideal, but we can work towards that. And in the meantime, like let's just make the best of what's in front of us. And so that's like what I feel like I'm trying to do. I don't want to give 110% anymore, and I hope people can still vibe with that, connect with that, and like maybe even more so, maybe they'll connect more with the authenticity. When my work is so perfect, like it starts to feel sterile, and I start to feel like I'm not myself on camera, because I feel like my voice has to be a certain way. Like I have to sound articulate. I can't say I can't say like, I can't, falter my words, because then people will become unengaged and they'll check out, they'll get bored in that millisecond it took me to say the word and like I can't afford that. And especially when it's like I'm putting so much time and energy into something. Yeah, I feel like I can't afford for it to flop or not do well. But the truth is, like, no matter how much effort you put into something, no matter how much work you put into something, like even if it's good, even if it's great, even if it's perfect, it doesn't mean people are going to receive it well or connect with it, especially not immediately. There are big budget films that fail and flop all the time. There are so many artists who produce artwork that was not even appreciated in their lifetime. It wasn't considered, you know, good art until after they had passed. Sometimes like you create something really good that's so ahead of its time that people will never be able to appreciate it the way someone generations from now will. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be made. It doesn't mean you shouldn't make the effort. But I think having that understanding and like kind of doing that reality check is important sometimes, like as artists, because we're not machines, we're not robots. Like we catch a vibe and we try to make, you know, something out of that. And all the time, like people aren't gonna always connect with that, and that's okay. It's okay. I follow so many people who are in like branding and, you know, who study and analyze social media for a living. And there are methods to engaging people and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not to say that you can't master this and master the art of engagement. Like that's possible, but you have to decide for yourself if that's what you want, like what you want to do. I realize like I don't really want to do that. I don't want to put that much effort into making my content super engaging and hoping people don't click out and hoping that like they can somehow stick along with me during my ramblings. What I really find is I'll record a video, kind of feel good about it, feel like I said something important. I'll get it into Final Cut Pro or editing, and I'll like be editing it together, think, oh, this is too long. No one's gonna like watch this all the way through. So I start finding things I can cut out. I cut out every like, every gap in my speech, and to make sure there's no moment that people are gonna like fall off and be like, where is she going with this? What is she trying to say? And I cut out more and more and more until all the soul is gone. And I'm watching it, and at the very end, I'm like, who is gonna sit and watch this? Because I don't even wanna be watching this. I don't know who this girl is. I don't know what she's saying. There's no soul to it anymore. And maybe all the feelings that I felt that mattered to me were somewhere ingrained in the likes and the ums and the pauses and the thought and what you could see in my eyes that I was trying to communicate, what I was feeling. And I just lost all of that because I was worried about engaging people. It's ironic, I guess, but it's a not paradox. It's paradoxical because it's like the more you attempt to make something like quick, snappy, engaging, sometimes it's less engaging for that very reason, like because it doesn't feel human anymore and we're not connecting with it anymore. And sometimes like you have to let people come back to something. Like you have to let people be in the right mood to watch something. Like, no, like they might not want to watch this video. Like some of you might have clicked in and like you have lives, you have stuff going on, and you're listening to me and you're like, I don't have time for this. Like, I don't know what the point is. Like I'm clicking out, I'm not engaged, right? But you know, there may be one night like you really have nothing to watch and you're scrolling through your feed and you feel like you've watched everything and you're like, oh, let me go back to that video. And you're just like you don't have anything to do. You're just chilling, and you get to a certain point and I say something that for whatever reason resonates with you. And you're like, huh? Like, and you continue watching at that point, and then you're captured, then you're engaged. But that could be 2 months from now. Or, you know, like, I don't know. Like, that happens to me all the time. I literally have a perfect example of this. I actually do need to do my hair, so I don't know why I'm like... One of my favorite creators is Nguyen. I don't know if you've heard of her. She also goes by That Chic on the internet. And she's just like an OG YouTuber who came from the fashion blogging world. And I think to this day, she might have like 150,000 subscribers, and she's been doing this for a very long time. I can't remember, it might be 200,000 or more. I'm really not sure. But it's not like she has like millions of followers considering how long she's been doing YouTube. But like her videos have such a raw quality to them. There are tons of videos of hers that I've never watched. And if I'm being honest, maybe it just didn't speak to me at the time, or like the thumbnail wasn't very engaging, and there's all these other really captivating thumbnails on my timeline, and I just clicked those first and then never went back to some of her videos. But recently I binge watched like a ton of her videos that I hadn't seen before because I kind of got on this kick where I just wanted to watch her content. I was just in the mood for it. It really spoke to me at the time I was in my life. And I went back and watched a lot of old videos I'd never seen. And I had like a moment with her content like years later. And there's plenty of her content that I have consistently watched over the years, but it's just like you never know. And like I want to create something that has enough soul that someone's going to want to come back to it at some point. Or that for the few people that maybe it does really resonate with for whatever reason, just because it was real, that they come back to this video for something, just for something, anything. If you're really like curious about kind of like the whole indie sleaze era, like when it was happening, when it was going on, I think Rachel Nguyen, I don't know if she would really be categorized as indie sleaze because she is so chic. Like she's incredibly fashionable, but in a way that's very like loose and effortless. At least on the surface, it seems that way. And like her lifestyle kind of gives that like high end indie sleaze, kind of that Alexa Chung kind of thing going on. But I really recommend her Vlogmas from 2015. If you lived during that time, or if you didn't and you're curious what that time, well, I assume you would have been alive, but say you're like really young and don't really remember it, like go back and watch her Vlogmas 2015 playlist. It's on her YouTube channel, and just be transported. It's absolutely transporting. She found a way to capture that time in a way that's so beautiful, in a way that feels so real. It just reminds me of my college years, and years later, I went back and watched all of those Vlogmas videos. The intention and the kind of care that was put into creating those videos is just felt. I don't know that it's like the most engaging content on the planet, or that like it's something that would have blown up and got millions of views, because it didn't. But like it feels like a cultural nugget, like a time capsule in the most like beautiful way. Like I'm so inspired by that that series of videos. I think more than anything, it's like I want to be creating work that, at least for me, I will look back on it and feel it. Like it won't feel sterile, or it won't be like, wow, like that's nothing like who I was back then, or I watched this video and I don't even know who that person is. It doesn't even feel like me. And maybe, yeah, it's a version of me. Like I've never just straight up like gotten on camera and not been myself at all. But like I've gone through some things, and like I watch videos from those times where I'm like going through a really hard time in life, and I'm like, my eyes look just checked out. It's like, and I'm just performing, and it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel representative of that time in my life. I can't even really look back on it fondly because it doesn't really capture the good or the bad. It doesn't capture anything. It's like just everything's completely filtered out. There's no pores in the worst way. It's like when you put on so much foundation, you lose all your natural contouring. And as much as you try to add it back to your face, it will never quite look like how your face does, you know? I don't know if that's a good analogy, but that's like how I feel. This is so random. This has nothing to do with anything I just said. But I thought about this before I hit record, so I just wanted to put this in here because I felt like it was just kind of like a genuine passing thought that, I don't know, I want this in here for some reason if I ever look back on it. But I just had the most like intense craving for meat pies, which is funny because I don't eat, well, I do eat meat occasionally, but I don't eat red meat at all. But like, I'm talking like traditional Panamanian meat pies made with like beef. I just had the most intense craving. And it just brought me back to like a childhood memory. So I'm originally from New Orleans, or I'm actually not. I'm from a small town called Laplace, which is like maybe 20 minutes outside of the, New Orleans proper. It's part of what's considered the metro New Orleans area. Like most people who live there, like go to school in New Orleans, work in New Orleans, but they live there because it's like more affordable than like living in the middle of the city. But yeah, so I remember what really popularized Laplace was its proximity to New Orleans, but it's a little higher above sea level. So when Katrina happened, so many people moved to Laplace. Like my small, super quiet, like nothing ever happens here town felt busy like overnight. It was the wildest feeling. So we only got like some wind damage. We didn't flood in the way that New Orleans did. And so I remember so many people came to like live there or stay with people they knew who lived there. And our family was no different. One of my mom's best friends, she and basically 4 generations of women came to live with me and my family. It was my mom's friend, her mom, and her grandmother, and then her daughter. So 4 generations of women. They were Panamanian American. And oh my gosh, the food that we consumed during that time. I call her my aunt. That's how close she and my mom are. So my aunt's grandmother would cook all these different like Panamanian foods. Like we'd have like fried plantain or platanos and meat pies, and she taught us how to crochet. And it was just like one of those times where you're just young and you don't have to deal with like any of the actual stress of like a very stressful situation. You're just like kind of along for the ride. I don't know, that just brought me back to that time, and it just felt, I don't know, like I just had a sudden craving, and I don't even eat meat like that anymore. Maybe I'll find like a recipe that's like maybe chicken based or like even vegan, maybe like tofu. I don't know. It's almost like just eat the real thing. I don't know. I don't know. I really try not to. I don't even know how my body would react, because like how if you go so long without eating something, your body's just not used to it anymore, and you could like kind of get sick or just at the very least feel really gross and bad, or get a headache or something. So I don't know. I was also just listening to the Sunday Scaries podcast. I don't know if any of you listen to it. It's really calming for me. I love listening to it. And the host, Will DeFries, was saying like one of his favorite go-to drinks is like a ginger beer with lime, like just a little bit of lime juice. And I was like, a little like drink like that just sounds actually really refreshing. Like I don't drink alcohol, and so I really don't drink anything other than water, which is crazy. I really only ever drink water. Unless I'm at a restaurant, I might have like an iced tea. But yeah, typically just drink water. Yeah, I drink tea actually. I drink a lot of tea, but I don't drink like drinks. Like I don't go to the store and buy juice or soda or anything. But I was like, a nice little ginger beer or like a cream soda sounds nice. Like just having that over ice. But yeah. All right, I'm talking too much, and I really actually need to finish my hair because I have other things to do today. But yeah. So my hair is done. I wanted something like very like low maintenance. When I do it like this, I literally just take like a scrunchie, pull it back like this at night, maybe put it in like a bun, and then just put like a bonnet on. That's it. I changed into a wrinkled shirt. I don't know why sometimes it's very freeing to just wear a wrinkled shirt. I don't typically condone it or recommend it, but sometimes it's okay. Sometimes like you just need to accept yourself as it is and leave your house. I also realized that when I imagine my soulmate somewhere out there, I imagine that they press their clothes. So this sometimes makes me think twice about walking out of the house with wrinkled clothes. But today, I might put something over it, like a little windbreaker or something. But me and my sister are gonna go just out. We just need to get out of the house, but I'm probably going to drop some things off at Goodwill. And also I want to get a couple glassware items from World Market. Maybe I'll also stop at the grocery store to get like a soda. And I kind of want to get some ice from Chick-fil-A to put in the glassware and pour the soda in. I don't know if we're gonna do all that though. I also don't know if they just will like give you ice if you walk in and ask for ice. Like even if you go on their website, like to order online, it is only offered under like catering options, which I think you have to like order ahead. So I don't know, the ice may not happen, but yeah, it should be nice to get out of the house. It's too beautiful, it's too sunny for me to be cooped up right now. I want to remember this day forever, and these clips are very precious to me, but I understand that these clips alone may not mean as much to a viewer, so I wanted to include some mantras and lines of poetry from my journal, and I hope that this is a moment that allows you to reflect and find peace in your day. Being driven doesn't mean you have to rush. Drives through the mountains, drives along the beach, night drives through the city. There's no rush. I have time, the gift of human existence. Everything can be resolved without worry. I'm allowed to be late. I'm allowed to disappoint people. I'm allowed to contradict myself. I'm allowed to be human. If I make a mistake, I can make amends. Urgency should not equate to stress. I have the ability to meet the demand of time, or I don't. Stress has no place here. Stay present. Stay present. Stay present. Whether I am capable or incapable, I shall remain happy. Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Miracles happen. Miracles happen. Miracles, they do happen. Happiness is a practice. Living is an art. Existence is a journey. There is a peace in the release. I want my journal to be sexy and free. The one current microcosm in this world where an authentic version of me exists. Hi, so I'm back from World Market with my sister. I dropped my items off at Goodwill. I don't think people talk about like how hard it is to get B-roll footage of things. You pull up to Goodwill and the process of like giving them the items is so fast. It'd be so weird to like whip your phone, like, hold up, let me get a shot of me handing you my stuff. And I think that's why like people who have like really engaging content with lots of shots and coverage of everything, that requires skill, and people don't give vloggers and stuff enough credit for that. But anyway, mission accomplished. I got some stuff from World Market. It needs to be washed. I feel really weird about bringing things into my room that are not clean, especially since COVID, but really like in general, it's not even about the germs so much. Like, I'll say that I'm a germaphobe, but really I'm not. I'm less afraid of like germs and something getting me sick and more just disgusted by grime. Like things having like dust and dirt and skin cells and like stuff on it, even if it's technically like it's not sanitary, but like it's technically like not going to give me an infectious disease. It's just gross. I don't know. That's just a thing I have. So like I wash my hands and I feel weird about touching this, but I bought this cup. It's so pretty. I just feel like it'll be really nice to like fill it with ice and just drink little things out of it. I haven't picked up soda or anything because I actually got a smoothie. Both my sister and I got smoothies and they spelled our names wrong. So my name is Zoe. My sister's name is Kirsten, like Kirsten Dunst. It was funny because it's like they made our names as complicated as possible. Like they spelled my name Zoie And they spelled my sister's name Karistan or something, and her name is Kirsten. But yeah, or ooh, she'd get so mad at me if she heard me say that. It's not Ian, it's I-N. She's a Kirsten with an I, not an E. And then I got this mug to drink my tea out of. It's just so cute, and I love that I'll be able to like see my tea. There's a cafe uptown that I've gone to, and they serve their tea in clear mugs, and it's so pretty, especially because they have the steeper, and it's just really pretty. So I got this as a mug. I was not at all expecting this. I thought I would get something ceramic and kind of earthy looking, but I went with a clear one. And then I also wanted to get a bowl because I have one bowl that I eat out of all the time, and it's a ramen bowl. So it has like 2 holes in it for you to like rest your chopsticks in the bowl, like when you're not eating. And like because of that, if I put like soupy things in it, which is funny because it's like literally for like ramen. Say like I make a bowl of ramen and I'm like walking to the table or from the stove or whatever, like I put it in the bowl. Now I'm like going to sit down, like the liquid will like come out of the holes that you put the chopsticks in. I feel like it's very hard to explain if you don't just see it, but I just want something deep that I could like just eat hearty meals out of. So I got this bowl, and my sister actually ended up buying it for me, which was really sweet. It just kind of spoke to me, and it's not something like I would normally pick up. Things speak to me. Like I just get a sense of like, oh, this is the one, or this is the one I'm supposed to get. I usually take a very long time when I'm shopping because I'm waiting for that feeling, and I know it when I feel it. Like I'm a very indecisive person until I'm not. Like I'm indecisive and then I'm very decisive. Like, because when I feel something, like it's just undeniable. But yeah, it's very pretty. So when I was checking out the cashier, she was just like, oh wow, like this is so beautiful. Like orange is really having a moment right now. And I've been thinking that. I've just been kind of seeing orange everywhere and thinking about orange a lot. And that just like her saying that just kind of confirmed for me, okay, yes, I'm supposed to get this one. It's so pretty. It's gonna look really cute like in my room because I'll probably like find somewhere to display it when I'm not using it. It's like the size, well, it's not the size of my head, but like it's close. Today was a very productive day. I cannot stop looking at these little items. I'm very happy with the purchases. I told myself like I'm really just only gonna record what I'm inspired to do, and I'm not gonna plan shots. I'm not gonna plan like talking portions. Thought I saw a bug. I'm just gonna do what feels natural and follow my intuition. Like I'm such an intuitive person. I mean, as I just explained with these bowls, like when I feel something, like I know it's right and I know it's something I'm gonna like and I'm gonna cherish. Like that's how I actually like operate in my life. I'm so intuitive. But when it comes to things that I have to put out into the world or that are going to be consumed by other people or that like really affect other people, then I become very like kind of overly practical and overly concerned with logistics and just very just uptight and stressed out, and I hold myself to a very, very high standard, which I've explained before. There's a place for that, but it's like there's a time and place, and I had no balance. And I'm like, if I'm gonna be a creator, if I'm gonna be on YouTube, like this opportunity is so crazy. Like I can just literally record anything and like post on the internet and anyone can see it. That's such a wild like thing that we get to do, that we live in a time where that's even possible. And I'm like over here stressing out about like things that don't really matter. So I'm just gonna do what feels right, and hopefully that's enough. I literally am about to finish watching a YouTube video. Moya Mawhinney put out a vlog, a New York vlog, which is always just cool to see someone outside of their like regular space. If you're not familiar with her, she's an Irish YouTuber, and to see someone like kind of just like traveling and outside of like their everyday, because I feel like these past couple of years, like I've just been here. I've really haven't traveled in a while except to visit my family back home in New Orleans. So, yeah, like it's just, I used to have so many dreams of travel and going places. The only place I've been outside the country is Japan, and it's honestly one of my favorite places in the world. I want to go back. I want to travel, but it just seems like a distant dream and just like so not possible with my current like financial situation and everything. But yeah, so it's kind of fun to like vicariously live through other people getting to like live that dream, at least for the time being. Also, Sophia Kelly is in this vlog, and so I'm just kind of enjoying seeing like faiths collide and create content together. So I think that's what I'm going to do if I'm inspired to hop on here at all later today. I will, but if not, this may be goodbye. So yeah, I will talk to you later. Bye. I have your mirror. I know, but kind of. Yeah, you're right. Like it's that would allow my creative juices